to Nicole. So we move now to Heather Doram. Okay, something going wrong. I was hearing. Okay. Well, I was always fascinated with this lady when I come to Antigua. She's like a magnet. I told her last carnival I'm up on the ledge of the Antigua Beauty Festival Commission looking down, and I seen, look at her. She's in a real trance. She is reveling. She is carnival itself while still mobilizing people. You know? She was a former culture minister. She was a former chief examiner of CXC for over 10 years. A visual artist extraordinaire, because when I dug into her, you see on Facebook, Rita Mako, I say, she does do art, but it's a different kind of art. And then I found out about the art in discussing with her and why. So I want her to tell a little story, but I want us to get to that point where she felt an epiphany in Georgia. You see the rain falls in Georgia? Well, yeah. She just went into a reflective mode there. So, in fact, I want you to start there, and then we could come back to some of the more known issues that might be known to others.
Yeah. Thanks, Richard. Yes. The Heather that you see before you now wasn't always the Heather, okay? I was shy, not very outgoing. I hated crowds. I didn't like going out. My husband would go out by himself. I didn't have a very positive body image of myself. And I went off to school in Georgia. This is where I went to do my master's degree in fine arts. There was a lot of required reading. A lot of books about just finding yourself, about spiritual meaning. What really is the meaning of life? Why are we really on this earth? It can't be that we're just born and we breeze through life, we do a job, we have kids, we get married, and then we're on our deathbed. And you look back and you say, what the hell have I done for all these 60 or how many years that I'll be on this earth? So I had an epiphany, to tell you the honest truth. I can't describe it as anything else. I was on my bed in my apartment by myself. My roommate was out, and I just started bawling. I'm getting emotional now. I just started bawling because I realized that I was not living a fulfilled life. I was not passionate about anything. I had been married at a very young age. I had 2 children, but I just wasn't feeling fulfilled. I always wanted to do art. That is what I wanted to do. I felt that every woman needs to feel fulfilled, and unless you are fulfilled, you're going to be unhappy, whether you're in a marriage or you're single. And I just knew that when I got back to Antigua, that I had to have a sit-down talk with my husband to let him understand that I need to feel fulfilled. I am passionate about a lot of things. I have not been able to do them because I sort of was pigeonholed into, I think it's the way I was socialized, the way I was brought up. My mom trained me to be a good wife. You washed, you cleaned, you look after your husband, you put your food on the table, you look about the kids, and I knew my life had to be much more than that. So we came back and we had the talk. I can tell you now that it wasn't a very pleasant experience for him because, of course, he now realized that this woman, this is not the woman that left here. You know, she went away. Who is this? Who is this person who has come back? But you have to lay the ground rules down, women. You have to be strong. You have to know what your needs are, what you want to succeed at in life, what you want to do with your life. And not because you're married that you suddenly put everything about you on the back burner. I didn't feel like Heather. I didn't feel like Heather that I wanted to be. I didn't feel like the Heather that I thought I was going to become. After he started understanding himself, that he had to help take care of the children. When I needed to travel, you know, he had to take care of the kids. A lot of husbands do not do that kind of thing. Women, you know that, right? They say that you are the woman, you have to take care of the kids, you have to do that, and things like that. When you're going to get married, ladies, find a guy who treats you as an equal. You share all the responsibilities equally, whether it be taking care of the children, taking care of the home, whatever it is. Don't let it become as a surprise after you're in the marriage and you realize this man has no intentions of helping you with kids, no intentions of helping you around the home, and you say you want to do a class at University Center. Guess what? He's not for that, because you have to stay home. My husband is the most wonderful person in the world now because he understood me and what my needs were. I went off when my daughter, she's sitting right there, she can attest to it. Annie? I went to university in Jamaica when she was, I think, probably 8, and my other daughter was maybe 5. And it was a very tough decision to leave kids at that point in time. As a matter of fact, Annick survived wonderfully, but the younger one, she started missing me so much that she used to just space, you know, be blanked out in class and things like that. But they survived. Lucky for the younger one, I almost had to shave her head because Daddy just brushed her hair back every day without combing anything inside there. But we spent about a week and I got it all knotted out and everything. But that is a point in my life where I realized that life could not be the same. I couldn't continue. And one of the things that I read, there's a book called Spiritual Growth. It speaks about us coming onto earth and that we fulfill something. We cannot just be on earth to go to a job, take care of kids, and when you're lying on your deathbed, you say to yourself, well, what have I done? My dream was always to go to London, or my dream was always to become a lawyer, or to become a nurse, or something like that. I don't want any woman to have that form of regret. You have a passion in life, let your husband, your boyfriend, whoever it is, know what you're passionate about. So when you say you would like to go to University Center to do a class in accounts or something like that, he's fully supportive of that because I am supportive of them. We got married and within 3 weeks he had to go off to Puerto Rico for 6 weeks on a course. Was there discussion about that? No. He packed his suitcase and he was gone. So you should have the same opportunities to fulfill your dreams and your passions as well. So that epiphany you're talking about, Richard, happened in Savannah, Georgia, and I would say that my life took a turn for the better. Everything just opened up. Opportunities just flowed right in. I started being the confident woman that I knew I always was. I didn't care about my body. Women love your body, the body, no matter the size, the shape. Once you put yourself together and you get out there and you show that confidence, nothing is going to be able to stop you. I was judging the interview section the other evening, and I'm telling you, young ladies, I was totally impressed, as I told Richard. The way you carried yourselves, your posture, you were asked questions and there was no fumbling and there was no I don't know. You just answered the questions to the point. I was very impressed. You should really give yourselves a round of applause.
Yes. So Heather's life took a turn at this point. Before there are other things that I want to talk about with Heather. Heather pioneered carnival in several ways with her husband, and she told me of an instance when she did a monochromatic design. Seemed to shock everybody, like monochromatic designs are a no-no because carnival is color. And so she dynamized, in fact, she revolutionized the carnival, and she had a pink costume. And then at one time, she almost had all the girls at the pageant doing costumes for them. And that was just from her interest going with her husband to the Mascom because he was a costume builder and looking at him. And she, with her design background, decided, okay, let me get involved in making the costumes, and then let me decide to design the costumes so that we go make. And it will be wholly coming from us. And then they formed a troupe. So progressively, I think her life is one of, there's a pragmatism. There's a practicality. Decision-making comes just like the epiphany because the pragmatic choice has to be made to move from one step to another. Otherwise, you will live in complacency. And she's made a decision. So I think that is what she has brought to our table here, that you can make a move from a complacent posture and animate your life. And animate your life and go into areas that you may want to go into and feel that you are undeserving of, and really become. So let's give her a round of applause. Thank you very much, Heather Doram.